show some of my equipment here. Some stuff that's a better investment really than a bunch of heavy bulky ass weights that maybe some of you guys might live in an apartment or a certain house and you don't have bench presses and you don't go to the gym and stuff that invest in shit like this. And I'll tell you why. These you can get different weight classes for them, and I'm gonna eventually get the bigger ones that weigh more. But yeah, these are a better investment. Say instead of you go having a gym membership and you can live almost anywhere, and this actually will good for you if you actually work in warehouses, different places, and use tools and hammers anyway. And yes, you can. And if you don't want to buy these, order these. A lot of places around here, like the weightlifting store around here, or sports store, you can't get these. They just have kettlebells. You usually have to order them online. And even gyms around here, at least anyway, they don't have these. They have kettlebell. And these are quite an investment. And like I says, I wanted to get the bigger ones like this that I'm thinking about. But I also got shit like this, which I used to work at a scrapyard. I got it for next to nothing. And this weighs more. This weighs like 20 pounds. And these kind of, two of these are shiny. They're not aluminum. They're actually some kind of stainless steel, and they ring when you actually get them together. They actually weigh more than this. But I actually have a couple ones that are made out of steel. They weigh about the same, maybe a pound or two more. Let me see. I got two of these. And I got to keep them cleaned up and everything because they'll rust. And they're solid. I don't know why that's there. That probably came from some kind of machinery, but that's not hollow. That's solid steel. I'm guessing whatever these belong to, but I worked at a scrapyard. For example, like, there's a lot of other tools that I've used too that you can use. But like if you, instead of paying a lot of money for the upgrade, a more heavier version of these, you can go to your scrapyard and get shit like this. It weighs a little bit more for next to nothing, and just put some tape on it and then wear gloves. And put this back in my box. But anyway, the advantage of this, I said before that I actually worked in a place where hammers and mallets that looked like this in certain workplaces. Instead of curling with the dumbbell, you got more weight like this. And when you're carrying stuff anyway, you want to have a habit of doing shit like this. But then you can go like this, and that adds to it. Do as much of this as you can. Try to be graceful with it. And do a lot of this. I had entire videos of this I did with music. But those other things I showed you, I bought those when I worked at a scrapyard way before I invested in these. I bought these during the pandemic. I got bored and bought these and ordered them. And I had those other things that I worked at a scrapyard before I ordered these. But the reason why you keep doing a lot of this, do it rapidly too. What this is doing, it'll strengthen your forearms. And say I'm holding it like this too. That's creating a lot of, it's taking some work in your shoulders to actually keep these from moving around, you know what I'm saying? And then you do a lot of this. Do it for like a long time, like maybe for the length of a song you're playing. And you're feeling this in your wrist and your forearms. Then you can hold like this and exercise like you're drawing a sword. Unsheathing a sword off your back like your anime or your whatever you're watching. But when you do a lot of this, you're going to be feeling it in that forearm because it takes some strength to hold this with your shoulders. Yeah, so instead of getting the bigger ones and the Maces, and paying this, that's going to cost a hell of a lot more money. Not that I can't afford it, but that's a good bit. You got shit like this, which I did in my older videos in the past. And then do this. And it doesn't take a genius to show that. I don't got to spend all day on that, but I've done a whole length of, with music playing, because nobody wants to see me talking and showing you this easy ass shit all day and do a long ass video about it. So I had videos with music. And I started even before that with other kind of tools like pry bars that have some length to it. I mean, if you're into that fictitious, LARPing and all that, under the guise of something else that I don't want to say around here, use responsibly, just like the right to bear firearms, so to speak. There's a right to bear too. I'm not going to go on too much about it, but yeah, pry bars that I used in workplaces and construction anyway. I featured. I'll probably show that in a corner of this video. But somebody gave me one of these, and this got foam and tape around it, but you can tell there's a hard metal bar in there, and it's no different. It can be like I looked them up on the internet. You can buy them, but the reason why I like to use things like this and then longer items along with this, because you know why. Okay, now here's where you go like this. Good for your shoulders, really easy, right? But then when you get into something like this that's heavier, there you go. Do a lot of this. Then if you have a longer pry bar for construction work, there's different pry bars which I've used. Yeah, do a lot of this like two-handed like that. Use two of them. Then you got the others. Then you can do that with this. But this porch ceiling is not that high. I don't want to graze the ceiling of this porch. But you got that too. And there's a lot of reasons why this would be practical too. You're using something, post hole digger, but then you have some other item with a blade on the end of it, and you're stabbing the hole. Well, you can do lifting exercises up and down. And I says, well, I can have things like this, but I showed you before. Stuff smaller that's down to the size of a baton. It's like a piece of rebar. Work-related stuff and other reasons too. They go hand in hand. But I'm showing you stuff like this because if you don't want to buy a mace, the bigger, heavier maces cost pretty much more than a lot of people want to pay or can afford. And I can afford them. I thought about buying them, but you can get shit like this that's a little heavier at your local scrapyard for next to nothing. It's where I got these. And I like about this pair of them, it's made out of something, probably some kind of stainless or something, because it don't rust. It sure as hell ain't aluminum. It's heavier, and it doesn't pick up with a magnet, put it that way. And it's not aluminum, and it's heavy. Because aluminum, it would be oxidizing. And I had these for years, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you a basic idea. But yeah, you can get yourself hammers and them solid pry bars that are almost as tall as you are, you know what I'm saying, and do the same exercise if you got a ceiling heavier. I mean, you got a ceiling that's high enough where you won't bust anything, or you have yourself a big room or outdoor area, you know what I'm saying. And a lot of good reasons. Might want to have yourself a little hobbies to present forward, like some kind of LARPing or medieval mysticism type of thing to discreetly tell people. So if any other reasons, like you said, that like I said, that your God-given right you don't want to brag about, you may want to have a politer window dressing, so to speak. Don't deny it either way, but don't, because of for a lot of reasons, you don't want to go totally saying, but yeah, you figure that out. You know what I mean? And